listening to Fountain of Thought with your hosts, Dennis Fountain and Sunny Rain. One small step for man, one giant leap for America.
This show contains adult themes and language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everyone, to the Fountain of Thought podcast, broadcasting from the Erickson Memorial Studios. This is the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. If you like, you can leave us a voicemail. Our number is 413-612-8037. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at TalkFOT, and visit our website at fountainofthought.com for this and all episodes, and even polls. So if you're interested in something, go take one of our polls. Hey, Sonny, how's your poll?
It's sweaty, just like the rest of me.
Sweaty balls?
Oh, God.
Sweaty?
It is so miserably humid.
Yes, it's hot here in New England. It is warm.
I got a question for you. Was it really necessary to bore us all afternoon watching O.J. Simpson's parole hearing?
I DVR'd it, and I watched it from beginning to end.
Well, you I understand because you're a news junkie and you want to know what's going on. But seriously, nobody else gets that kind of attention.
That's true.
But him.
It was a media circus. That is true.
You know, I'm just like the whole afternoon. I'm going, really? Yeah. I mean, honestly, do I give a shit? No, I don't. Yeah. But then they were talking about how, he's after his release, what's he going to do for a living? He gets $25,000 a month from the NFL in pension that nobody can touch.
He's close. I think they said $19,000.
No, $25,000.
We'll do some research. I think it's closer to $19,000.
For the first time, you're going to be wrong.
Really? You think so?
$25,000 a month.
Yeah, he does get that. He has the house in Miami that they can't touch, and he also has a retirement account, 401ks or whatever, that they can't touch. But he's still he won't get a job. Because if he gets a job, he's got to pay back his civil lawsuit. And that's like up to $50 million now with interest and penalties.
He's a scumbag.
So he has like $50 million he owes to the Goldman family. But I don't think he'll get a job. I don't think he'll do anything except, like I said, listen, for you and me, $20,000 a month would do us quite well. Yeah. For OJ, I'm not so sure, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'll make a prediction right now.
Yeah,
that he's in trouble within the next 5 years again.
I'll take that bet. I don't think so.
I do. I did not see any sincerity in the guy. I really didn't.
See, you and I completely differ on this, and I differ with most of America, because I really don't think that he's that bad of a guy, and I don't think that he killed Ron Goldman and Nicole.
You're right. We do disagree on that one.
I don't. Did he possibly have something to do with it? Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think he actually did the deed himself.
But even if you had something to do with it, my lord, it's murder.
Yeah, I agree. A
young woman and a young man's life is gone. They're not coming back.
No. And
then when you have all these assets and you got all this money, what do you go do? You go rob a store trying to get your memorabilia back?
No, see, that's not what happened, though. That's what the media wants you to think, is that, everyone wants you to think that he was this bad guy and that, he went to a hotel with a bunch of thugs and committed armed robbery. That's not the way it went down. It didn't happen that way. What happened was this guy had been contacting him for a long time saying, hey, listen, Juice, we got some football memorabilia of yours. Do you want it? And he said, no, I don't want it, because and I believe him. He says he didn't care about it. And the guy kept pestering him. And finally, OJ says, well, send me some pictures of what you got. And when OJ saw the pictures, they were pictures of his family. They were family portraits. They were report cards from his kids. They were certificates of completion from him, from his children, from his first wife. They were all family memorabilia. There wasn't a football and a jersey and all of this stuff. That wasn't what it was. Most of it was pictures and stuff. And when he saw that, he said, well, yeah, I want it. And so he set up this, it was a kind of kismet that they all happened to meet, but they were all in Vegas at the same particular time. It wasn't planned that way. He was in there for a wedding, and it just all happened. It all flowed together, the guys who had this stuff. So he says, all right, I'll go take a look at it. He actually contacted his lawyer, and he said, how do I get my stuff back? And the guy says, you can't do anything about it. He says, if you go into somebody's house, it's going to be, they'll get you for theft, they'll get you for breaking and entering, they'll get you for trespassing and all this stuff. He says, you need to do it someplace in public. And so he said, a hotel room. Well, that'll work out great. I'll do that. And then the guy kept warning him that you better bring security with you because these guys mean business. And OJ knew one of them and didn't think so, but the guy kept persisting. So OJ hired, actually he didn't hire, they just came along. Apparently they wanted the cred. So, and he met them that weekend. It wasn't like this was a planned thing. He met them at the wedding. So he had 2 security guys come up, and the guy let him into the room, the hotel room. He walked in, and all of his stuff was laying on the table, ready to be sold. And OJ did freak out a little bit. He got pissed, and he started screaming, and I'm sure he was swearing and everything. And he's, give me this. It's my shit, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then he went to the table, and he started loading up all this stuff. In the meantime, people behind him pulled guns and held it in the face of these other guys. And whether you believe him or not, this is, who knows, hearsay. Although I think one of them I think this Bob guy testified that that's what happened. OJ never saw the guns. He didn't know that he probably figured they had guns because they were security, and one of the guys showed him his license to carry permit. So OJ probably figured they had guns, but he actually never saw them brandish these guns. And so all this stuff got taken up, and then they left. And then that's when all hell broke loose because OJ took more stuff than what was his. And that very day, the guy called and said, yeah, OJ, you got some of my NFL lithographs or something, and there's 22 of them, or I don't know what it was, something like that. And so OJ says, and my BlackBerry. And the guy says, OJ said, all right, fine, I'll get it back to you. And they met to give back the stuff. And then the guy never wanted his phone back, which was kind of weird. And then the other guy apparently never delivered the lithographs. OJ gave them to this security guy to deliver, and the guy never delivered them. He just kept them. So that's when trouble started, and then that's how this whole thing got blown up. Eventually, the lithographs did go back, and then this is what's odd is that all the stuff that OJ was accused of stealing came back to him anyways. It went to court, and the court said it was his, and he got to keep it. He has everything that he took from that hotel room, except for those lithographs, because those weren't his, but I guess they somehow got into that box. So whether you believe him or not, whatever. And you have to look at it that he was sentenced to 9 to 33 years, I believe, for this crime simply because he allegedly got away with the murder of Ron and Nicole. And that's why. Because if you took anybody else, he had no priors, he has never been convicted, he had never been arrested, the guy had nothing wrong with him, he didn't hold the gun. Yeah, he was along with it, and you're guilty by association, I get that. But he didn't do any of that, and they suckered him for 9 years. So I don't know. Everyone has their own opinion, but I watched everything closely, and you remember back then, because I think you probably came to see me every single day, and I watched that trial every single day. You said that
last week's show.
Yeah, I watched that trial every single day, and if you were on that jury, seeing the evidence that you saw, there was no other way except to acquit. You couldn't, there was no way. You cannot convict him on that evidence. All the stuff that was wrong. And like I said, all right, maybe he did do it. Maybe he did it. They didn't prove it. They had to prove it, and they didn't do it.
Do you want my opinion?
Sure. I knew that was coming. So the juice is loose.
So yeah,
October 1st.
Juice is loose October 1st. And OJ, good news, you have another new best friend.
Is that me?
Yeah, it's
that me? Yeah, okay. All right. I'm going to read you this article. It's very short, so I'm going to read it.
Thank God.
And it was brought to my attention by my wife because I missed this. But the headline is, Melting Glacier reveals bodies of a couple who disappeared 75 years ago.
Holy shit.
So the bodies of a Swiss couple,
Were they still alive?
No.
They weren't cryogenically frozen?
They were preserved. I'm getting there. You're jumping ahead. Jump ahead.
Sorry. I can't get a word in edgewise in this show.
The bodies of a Swiss couple who disappeared 75 years ago in the Alps have been found in the edge of a melting glacier. Marcelin and Francine Dumoulin, the parents of 7 children, get this, went to milk their cows in the meadow in the Valais canton on August 15th, 1942, and vanished without a trace. We spent our whole lives looking for them without stopping. We thought we could give them the funeral they deserved one day, said their youngest daughter, Marcelin Audrey Dumoulin, now 79. For the funeral, I won't wear black, she added. I think that white would be more appropriate. It represents hope, which we never lost. Local police said identification papers were found on the bodies that were discovered by a worker near a ski lift above Les Diablerets Resort at an altitude of 8,600 feet. The bodies, as well as a book, a backpack, a watch, and other items were taken to the Medical Institute for DNA testing, which confirmed their identities. The couples were 40 and 37 when they disappeared, left behind 5 sons and 2 daughters. It was the first time my mother went with him on such an excursion. She was always pregnant and couldn't climb the difficult conditions of a glacier. After a while, we children were separated and placed in families. I was lucky to stay with my aunt. We all lived in a region but became strangers, she said. I can say that after 75 years of waiting, this news gives me a deep sense of calm. That's an amazing story. I can see that as like a movie. What do you think? I mean, what do you think happened to them?
Well, I don't know. But come on, a glacier is very slow moving, so it's not like they were standing out there and got sucked up at a glacier. There has to be some foul...
No. What they're thinking is that like maybe there was a stray cow or something and they went to go, cattle it, whatever you do to a cow to corral it. I don't know. And that they slipped into a glacier, a fissure. It slipped into a hole and couldn't get out of it. And then, stuck and died, and then eventually, a glacier was formed, and that's how it happened. But, I mean, you got to think first of all, what are the cows doing so far away? Where you could get hurt like that? I don't know. The whole thing is just bizarre. It really is bizarre, and you think about it, and I think that would be a good movie, don't you think?
Yes, it would be a wonderful movie. It'd be like Titanic.
Actually, it could be.
So romantic.
It could be like Titanic. Let's call up James Cameron, see if he can get the rights to it. All right. But we want credit somehow.
Yeah. No, don't worry. Somebody else will rip us off by the end of the show.
Oh, God, I know. And this is old news, but I thought since I was, people that disappeared 75 years ago were found, I thought I'd bring this up. I didn't know if you heard of this. Maybe everyone else has. Do you know that they found where Amelia Earhart was, right?
I heard bits and pieces about it.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So they discovered a picture, apparently, and apparently the Japanese have her, or had her.
Was Jim Morrison with her?
No.
Okay,
No.
Because that was a rumor flying.
No. Yeah, I know. Flying. Flying. Yeah. All right. So I want to talk to you about a new show that's on Netflix. It's called The Travelers, and it originates in Canada on Showcase, and Netflix has the rights to it. So it's kind of like what they're going to do with Star Trek Discovery, that internationally, they get the rights to it. So have you seen this show at all?
No.
Okay. It's a really, really good show. And very briefly, this is not an in-depth review, but I've been watching it. I watched the whole season, and I think it's a really good show. And the premise of it is what got me thinking about the topic, and I'll tell you what it is. So these special operatives that are sent back in time from the future, and it's just their consciousness. So that gets sent back in time, and they go to today's time. And what they want to do is prevent an asteroid that's set to collide with the Earth. And in the future, the asteroid collides with the Earth, havoc, reigns, and the world is set into despair, and all the
total
bad
mayhem.
Stuff. Yeah, total mayhem. Yeah, all the bad stuff happens. So, what's
his name said? The worst possible thing imaginable.
Yeah, just say it. Just tell me that. Yeah, exactly. So they get transferred. Their consciousness gets transferred at the time of death. So what happens is they have, because of advanced technology with GPS and cell phones and computers and records and everything, they know exactly when somebody's going to die. So a few seconds before they actually die, their consciousness gets sent into a current body, and they take over that.
Kind of like
person.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah, exactly. Like Quantum Leap, and there is no, to our knowledge, there is no memory existent. They wipe out the current memory that's there. And then they have to go upon living the lives of these people, not to raise suspicion. And there's several of these cells. We don't know how many, but they're all over the country, and they're all working independently to this ultimate goal of stopping this asteroid from colliding with Earth. So it's a really good show. What I like about it is it's filmed with unusual angles and lenses. In fact, this whole scene is filmed, and all you see, it's through a reflection of a car. So it's a car door, and it's waxed, so it's got a high gloss on it, and the whole scene is just a reflection of that. It's really cool. They use a lot of mirrors, so scenes, you can see people's faces through mirrors. It's done very well. But what I think you'll like about it is that it's from Brad Wright, who is the Stargate creator, executive producer. And he is also the creator and executive producer of this show. He writes it, and he's the showrunner. And it stars Eric McCormack. You know who he is?
Yes.
All right, from Will and Grace, which I never really watched the show, but the guy's pretty good. Apparently he's won an Emmy, he's won a couple of Peabodys and other stuff. So he's a good actor. He does a good job.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Ren McCormack.
No.
From Footloose.
No. You ever watch Will and Grace?
No.
I never watched it either. But you know who I'm talking about now, right?
No, dude. I don't watch TV. We've been over
this
this
was
1,000.
like 80s and 90s. You don't know who maybe 90s. You don't know who Will and Grace is?
No.
Okay. Well, he's from Will and Grace. And he plays Grant McLaren, and he is the team leader, and he leaps from, I'll steal that term, he leaps into an FBI agent's body. And then there's Mackenzie Porter, and she plays Marcy Wharton. She's the team's medic. There's Nesta Cooper, and she plays Carly Shannon. She's the team's tactician, the team's bad guy. And this guy I really, really like. He's Jared Abrahamson, and he plays Trevor Holden. He's the team's engineer, and he leaps into a high school athlete. But the guy is, in his consciousness, he's like 200 years old. So he's this like really smart sensei type of guy leaped into a young high school body. So it's a really cool dynamic, and I really love this character. He plays it so very well. I love it. Finally, there's Riley Dolman. He plays Philip Pearson, the team's historian. The other thing that's really cool is there's like a whole bunch of Stargate alum that are in it. It's
really?
Oh yeah. There's Patrick Gilmore, and he plays David Miller. And he also played Ackerman in Stargate SG-1 in the episode Morpheus, and he played a Janai soldier in Atlantis. And by seeing him, you recognize, I know this guy. Some of them are better known, like this one, Colonel Mayborn?
Yeah.
He's in it. That's Tom McBeath. Remember the Russian Colonel Chekhov from SG-1?
Yes.
He's in it. He plays Gary. His actor is Gary Chalk. Doc Fraser's in it. Tara Rothery.
Oh, I liked her.
Yeah, she's in it. Colonel Young from SGU. Okay, he's in it. Louis Fiera. Dr. Lisa Park from SGU. She's in it. She's Jennifer Spence. She plays the school guidance counselor. And it's directed by everyone from Stargate. So Amanda Tapping's directed it. Martin Wood, Andy Makita, Will Waring. So it has a familiar feel to it because of all the Stargate tie-ins. But I would recommend you watch the show. It's a really, really good show. It is.
It sounds interesting.
It is a good show. The other one that I'm not talking about today, we'll do it another time, but is Dark Matter. That's also produced by the same people as Stargate.
Good too.
Yeah, it's very, very good. I believe it's 4 seasons now. And that's you find it on Sci-Fi Channel. It's not on Netflix, Sci-Fi Channel.
No, not to change the subject, but just in TV in general.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention this earlier. With all this high def that we have out now, have you noticed how funny when you were watching like a lot of older programs, how the characters look because you can actually see all the makeup they're wearing? They look like
some of them. Yeah,
they look like drag queens.
Yeah, some of them. It depends on how it was filmed. Yeah, and then whether it's 4:3 aspect ratio or it's been upscaled.
Oh, I'm telling you,
some of them are
it's
weird.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Well, that was
you
one
can
of the things.
see the rouge, you can see the lipstick.
Yeah. When they remember the DS9, which was my favorite. I didn't really like DS9 a whole lot, but my favorite DS9 episode was
the Bond one.
I did like that one, but no, that was my favorite. That's when they went back with the Tribbles.
Oh yeah. That was
right. And they took the original Star Trek footage and they put it. They had to use it, but they had to upscale it to get it to fit, modern stuff. And Spock is running around with a coffee stain on his shirt. the whole time. But in the original, if you look at just, before they upscaled it and, touched it, you couldn't see it because it was so muddy. The film was so muddy, you couldn't tell he had a stain on it until they cleaned it. Then you could see that he's got a coffee stain on his shirt. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, you're right. It is weird sometimes. So the premise of The Travelers is an asteroid hits. So I thought we'd talk about that today.
This is the Earth at a time when the dinosaurs roamed a lush and fertile planet. A piece of rock just 6 miles wide changed all that. It hit with the force of 10,000 nuclear weapons. 1 trillion tons of dirt and rock hurtled into the atmosphere, creating a suffocating blanket of dust the sun was powerless to penetrate for 1,000 years. It happened before. It will happen again. It's just a question of when.
Did you know that every day the Earth is bombarded with more than 100 tons of dust and sand-sized particles?
Oh, yeah.
Again, another tie in here. The deflector array on the Starship Enterprise. You know what that's for?
For asteroids.
Yeah, that's what it's designed for.
Yeah.
And they talk about this in real NASA engineers, saying that if we were going to eventually do that, we would need some type of device like that on a spaceship because there's so much floating around that it would do so much damage to a ship. I think that was kind of cool that, way back then, Gene Roddenberry thought about that.
Gene Roddenberry could have jumped back into the past from the future.
Maybe he did.
And then he went, instead of going back, he fell in love with his wife and decided to stay.
Oh.
There's a possible theory, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah. So why did she go from brunette to blonde?
Well, I can't mention that here.
Okay. So about once a year, an automobile-sized asteroid hits the Earth's atmosphere, and it burns up. And that's what you see, streaking across the sky. About every 2,000 years or so, a meteorite the size of a football field hits the Earth. Now, this causes significant damage to the area. About once every million years, an object large enough to threaten Earth's civilization comes along. Impact craters on Earth, the Moon, and other planetary bodies are evidence of these occurrences. So if you look up at the Moon, you see all those big craters, which they all have names, by the way. That's evidence. It's going to happen eventually. And one of the things that I thought was interesting that I never knew until I started doing research, do you know that NASA is planning for this?
Well, they should be, with all the television shows and movies being made about it.
I know. So NASA has a...
Would you expect them to be sitting around with their thumb up their ass saying, well, we'll worry about it when it's coming?
Well, I heard that some people, some of the telescope places were watching and looking, and my philosophy was, from watching television movies and stuff, that, they only see like 1% of the sky or something. Well, that's not entirely true. They actually cover everything, and they can see...
You guys are NASA! You make up this shit!
Yeah. So they actually see quite a bit. In fact, they're watching over 150,000 asteroids right now. And about 1,000 of these are planet killers. So 1,000 of them are big enough to just wipe us out completely. There's no hope. But the problem is we do have a blind spot. And if you think about it, it's pretty obvious. And I never thought about it this far. You know what the blind spot is?
The moon.
The sun.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
if it gets caught in the direction of the sun, you can't see it coming.
Exactly. So there is a section that we're not watching, but they are watching the skies, which makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. And NASA has established a Planetary Defense Coordination Office called the PDCO, and it's managed at the Planetary Science Division of NASA in Washington, D.C. The PDCO ensures the early detection of potentially hazardous objects whose orbits are predicted to bring them within 5 million miles of Earth. So they are watching some, in fact, and this is the one that's a little scary. And even now, to me, this sounds a little scary. The one that's of most concern, we're going to do a Stargate tie-in, is Apophis.
That's what they called
That's what they're calling it, Apophis. Yes. It's an 885-foot rock that will reach us by 2029 to 2036. It's expected to reach us at 2029, and then its orbit will bring it back again in 2036. That's what they're estimating. And it has a 1 in 250,000 chance of hitting the Earth. If it did, it would have the force of 58,000 Hiroshima-type A-bombs.
Holy crap.
Yeah. This will be so close that you can see this traveling by the Earth with the naked eye. You won't need a telescope. You won't need anything. You can see it traveling by, and it's expected to affect ocean tides. That's going to be close.
Oh, yeah.
That's scary. So that got me, a little bit worried and thinking about, what would happen. But like in Armageddon and in Deep Impact, how they try to move these asteroids, apparently NASA's doing that. Did you know that?
No.
I didn't know this as well. Why isn't this stuff common now? They don't want to scare people?
No, because we're always too busy reporting bad shit.
We're always too busy with O.J. Simpson?
Yeah. Let's spend an afternoon about his parole hearing, but let's not say, hey, look what NASA's doing to help protect our future.
And Trump, Russia. That's
much more important.
So,
because when the fucking asteroid hits, is it going to damn matter about Trump and Russia?
No, it won't. It's called DART, and DART is the Double Asteroid Redirection Test. So just like we saw in the movies, they plan on sending up this spaceship, and it's going to impact the asteroid in hopes to move it, to veer it off course just slightly. So, a little move way back then, or so far away technically, is a greater as it comes closer to us. So they're thinking they can do that. So the target for DART is an asteroid that will have a distant approach to Earth in October of 2022. And the asteroid is called Didymos, which is Greek for twin. I may not be pronouncing that right, because it's an asteroid binary system and it consists of two bodies, Didymos A and Didymos B. Duh. And this one is about 530 feet in size. After launch, DART will fly to Didymos, use an onboard targeting system to aim itself at Didymos B, and then this refrigerator-sized spacecraft is going to strike the asteroid at 9 times faster than a speeding bullet. Can Superman do that? So it's going to be 3.7 million miles per second. And the kinetic impact, they believe, is going to alter its trajectory enough to miss the Earth. So that's what they're planning on. So this is not movies. This is not...
So this is going to be a test they're going to do?
This is a test, yeah. And they're hoping that by doing this, they'll know that they can do this to other items. So if you look at... And where are my notes? So if you look at this one, it's a 530 feet object. The one that they're really, Apophis is 885, so it's almost twice the size. So they would need a much bigger spacecraft, I think.
To sit there and ignore this is kind of stupid. And when Armageddon came out, or Deep Impact, I don't remember which came first, but when you watch that, you said to yourself, holy crap, this is reality. This could happen.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it.
Well, it does. It happens all the time.
We have an asteroid belt that goes between Mars and Jupiter.
Yeah.
And anytime a comet comes through and hits one of those, anything could knock something out of that asteroid belt and send it hurtling towards Earth.
Yeah, and it does.
And if we don't get prepared for this, we're done for.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's going to be anarchy. All they'd have to say is there's an asteroid heading, a planet killer heading right for the Earth. All hell's going to break loose. Everything's going to break loose. Everybody's going to go nuts.
Hence the premise of Travelers.
Yeah. So do you talk about it or keep it under wraps? They're probably better off keeping it under wraps.
Hence Deep Impact.
Well, yeah, I mean, somebody says, "Oh, our lives are going to depend on this particular thing." Well, fuck that. Let's just go out and rob and rape and steal and kill and do total mayhem. Yeah. The worst possible thing imaginable. Yeah. The worst possible. That's all you had to say. The worst possible things imaginable.
Yes. And if you guys haven't watched Deep Impact or Armageddon, you need to watch it.
Who said that line?
Owen Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah. Armageddon is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Mine too.
I don't know why, but I love that movie, and it didn't get the accolades it should have. I believe Deep Impact came out first, and it just, it depends upon what you watch. I know I'm veering off subject, but Deep Impact or Armageddon, almost the same movie. And I loved Armageddon so much better. I think it was Michael Bay did a great job at it. And I know everyone says, "Oh, it's just big explosions and everything," but I think he did a really good job with that movie. you look at like Wyatt Earp and Tombstone. There's another one.
Yeah.
If you saw Tombstone first, you like that one. If you saw Wyatt Earp first, you like that one.
No, what you're getting
I
at
liked Wyatt Earp.
What you're getting at is this, okay? Deep Impact went with more of a somber and a more drama approach to it, where Armageddon went at it as a hero movie.
Yeah.
Showing that we can beat the odds. It's the same thing with Tombstone. Tombstone is a great movie, but it's not accurate. Wyatt Earp is more accurate, but Tombstone's a lot of fun because there's some good characters, there's some good, comedic stuff mixed in with it. So, I like, when it comes to both sets of movies, I like them both.
I do. I like them all, but I have my preferences.
But again, it's depending on what kind of feel you're looking for out of a motion picture for entertainment, not so much in reality. So that's my opinion.
That happens a lot with movies. You'll get, and they're like the same premise, and you go, I don't know, which one do you like better? But
it's like Pirates and Pirates 2. Which one do you like better? You got to go with the original.
Yeah, absolutely. I would too. Yeah. Look those movies up, folks, if you if you haven't seen them. Especially Pirates.
Captain's Log.
All right. So, what do you think would happen if, let's just say, not a complete annihilation of the planet, but let's say one that an asteroid comes down and similar in, I don't even know if you get one that's that big, but let's not say quite the dinosaur size one, but you get one a little smaller than that where it's going to cause some significant damage. It's going to cause the skies to go gray for some time. It's going to cause lots of things. What do you think would happen to our world? Is it going to be like a zombie apocalypse time, or what do you think?
Like I said before, it's going to be total anarchy, especially if we lose control of our power. We lose control of...
Like an EMP.
Yeah, basically the same principle. Yeah. And that's what you have to worry about. Man is its worst enemy.
Absolutely.
And there's no doubt about that. So if you take away law and order, or as Sam Elliott said in Tombstone, a town has to have law and order.
Wasn't that Trump?
Well, maybe. And that's what you got to worry about first. But if it's big enough that it covers, the entire planet and blinds us from the sun, then we're done for.
Well, you have to have sunlight because you have to have vegetation, which provides oxygen, food, and all that stuff.
Yeah, but it's the heat element. Because all of a sudden, if you completely dust an area and the sun can't get through, it's going to go down sub-zeros.
Well, that's
people are going to freeze to
why
death.
the dinosaurs left. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not.
Oh, they left? They packed up and moved?
Yeah, they did. They went somewhere else.
Oh,
yeah.
See, the alligators were smart. They went way down on the bottom of the ponds and stuff. Yeah.
But I don't think we're at a stage technologically yet where we could handle such a catastrophe.
That's why they're planning on trying to stop it.
Yeah.
Because it would be the end of the earth.
Yeah, I think so. And
didn't the Bible say that the earth would end in fire?
Fire and brimstone is what it says.
Well,
but
fire and brimstone can be interpreted as an asteroid.
It could be, but it also said though, if you read the last book in the Bible, it says that it will end in fire and brimstone and turmoil, and that it will happen in the Middle East. Once again, we have a topic on the show that we don't have an answer for. We just love talking about it. But But
stay tuned, because on some network TV tonight, you'll probably hear this exact topic talked about after we already recorded it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Someone will steal our idea and go with it.
Me and Dennis are complete believers in the conspiracy theory.
Absolutely. Oh, I got to tell really, really off topic today, but when I left the house and I was on the main street in my town, a white pickup truck ended up following me. Now, when you're driving, do you pay attention to cars and surroundings and things?
Dude, I'm not going to blow my own horn here, but I am one of the best drivers there is. I keep an eye on the mirror.
Okay, good.
If I see, I'm looking and I see some poor bastard trying to take a right, and I look behind me and see there's 8-9 cars behind me, I'll stop. I'm always anticipating what other
some
drivers
people aren't. I didn't
no,
know.
You don't have to tell me.
Okay, so here's the thing: is I noticed this guy was following me, and he followed me 2 towns away, and then in one of the spots there was a yellow light. It was not red, and I had plenty of time, but I went through it. It was a yellow light. I didn't speed up or anything. I just went through it normally because I had plenty of time to make it. Well, the guy behind me in the white pickup truck did not, but he went through it as well, and it was clearly red when he went through it, which made me a little suspicious. And he followed me all the way to the studio and then up the street when I pulled over. I thought that was very weird. Very, very weird. So
I don't know. It could be somebody that wanted to talk to a god.
Yeah, it's the FBI. They're coming to get me.
Speaking of following, this is an actual true story. Years ago, I went through a period where I wasn't drinking.
You had a period? Thought like only women had those. Oh, that would explain a lot of things about you. So that makes sense. All right, go ahead. Continue your story.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
As I said before, there was a stretch of time where I wasn't drinking. So I decided to be a designated driver one night, and I had my brother out. I had to bring him home because he got gassed. It was New Year's Eve. And we were traveling through Granby, and we got to this particular light. Oh, and by the way, I had my girlfriend at the time following me in her car. We got to this light, and it turned yellow as I was going through, and I went through. She went through as well. Well, the lights came on, cruiser comes flying out, pulls me over, gives me the whole routine.
Pulled you over, but not her?
No, pulls me over. And then she just pulled over behind me because she's following me. But he pulls me over, and he comes
going
up
through a yellow light?
Yeah, well, listen. He goes, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I said, "No." He goes, "Did you not run a yellow light?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "But since when is that?
All the time.
Since when is that a crime? It's caution." If I was already into the intersection, I said, "Slam my brakes on." But you're admitting you went through a yellow light. I said, "What are you getting at?" I asked you a question. Are you admitting to going through a yellow light? I said, "Yes." "All right. For Christ's sakes, I went through a yellow light." He goes, "Okay, thank you." Walks away from my car, goes back to my girlfriend's car, and writes her up for going through a red.
Oh.
I kid you not. That is an exact true story because I ended up stopping at the police station and blew my stack. I was like, what the hell kind of crap is this? I said, here it is, New Year's Eve. I'm doing my civic duty as a designated driver. A young lady's following me to get somebody home that shouldn't be behind the wheel. We're doing all the right things. All you guys have got to do tonight is pull people over for going through a yellow light.
Your girlfriend went through a red light.
Yeah, but still, New Year's
Did
Eve.
she go through a red light?
Of course. Oh. But why didn't he pull her over? That's the point. Why didn't he pull me over and interrogate me whether or not I went through a yellow light?
Because he can.
I was like, but this is ridiculous. I thought it was a trick question.
All right, folks, we're going to be right back after I release the Kraken.
To assassinate real news. They use their schools to teach children that their president is another Hitler. They use their movie stars and singers and comedy shows and award shows to repeat their narrative over and over again. And then they use their ex-president to endorse the resistance, all to make them march, make them protest, make them scream racism and sexism and xenophobia and homophobia, to smash windows, burn cars, shut down interstates and airports, bully and terrorize the law-abiding, until the only option left is for the police to do their jobs and stop the madness. And when that happens, they'll use it as an excuse for their outrage. The only way we stop this, the only way we save our country and our freedom, is to fight this violence of lies with the clenched fist of truth. I'm the National Rifle Association of America, and I'm freedom's safest place.
Welcome back, everyone. If you are interested in becoming a sponsor of our show, please drop us an email at talkfot@gmail.com.
What came out of your crack on?
Kraken!
Interested in your very own shout out? Let us know at facebook.com/Fountain of Thought, on Twitter at TalkFOT, or email us at talkfot@gmail.com. And you could be rewarded for listening.
All right, folks, thanks for listening, and we're going to reward Amanda Richard and Matthew Ridley. Thanks for listening, guys. We appreciate We appreciate it.
Wow. And my shout out goes to my co-hosts, lovely wife Linda, and their lovely 3 daughters, since he's never ever gave them a shout out on this show.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome.
The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Yes, true or false headlines.
All right, how this works is I will read 4 headlines, and Sonny in the audience at home will play along, and you want to tell me whether this headline is true or false. They all have some law and order somewhere in it. All right, so the first one is...
False.
Is that your answer?
No.
Man threatens to pull gun over wrong taco order.
OJ? True.
That is true. New Mexico man is facing charges after police say he pulled a gun on a taco shop employee for giving him the wrong order. Lex Norman DNS was arrested Sunday following a heated exchange with an employee at Rigoberto's Taco Shop near one of the nation's premier weapons labs. I don't know why that has anything to do with it, why that even made that into the story. Who cares where it's next to? It's next to a 7-Eleven. It doesn't matter. Why?
It was a secret message for somebody out there.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Los Alamos Police Department, Corporal Jamal Montoya says an employee said DNS retrieved a gun out of his car over the allegedly botched tacos. Witnesses said they heard the threat. The 48-year-old DNS was booked at the Los Alamos County Detention Center and is facing disorderly conduct and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charge.
See, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
He's in a taco shop in, of all places, New Mexico. They should be able to get it right.
And he's of some Spanish Latin descent,
well,
too,
then he
so
had a right. He had a legal right to be pissed off about that.
As an illegal alien, he had the right.
Well, isn't that how it always goes?
Yes.
Free insurance, too.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the next one. A judge who pocketed 2 business card holders resigns.
Judge pockets 2 business card holders?
Yep.
What's a business card holder?
You know, like these little things that hold business cards. You know, business card holder. You know, you put it on your...
It's false.
It's false? That is true. A Northern California judge who agreed to resign after swiping 2 Art Deco-style business card holders from a judge's dinner in San Francisco said Monday that he remains deeply remorseful. Napa County Superior Court Judge Michael Williams' resignation will take effect December 5th, which is also when he can retire. Gee, isn't that convenient? He is 70. The Commission on Judicial Performance on Monday announced its censure of Williams, saying his conduct seriously undermined public confidence in the judiciary. It was just a moment of ridiculous stupidity, and I just don't understand why I did it, he told the Associated Press. I really regret it completely. Williams was attending a dinner hosted by a Matrimonial Lawyers Association when he pocketed 2 cardholders in the Art Deco of the City Club of San Francisco. The holders contained the business cards of the club's managers. They were each worth about $30. The commission says Williams returned the cardholders after being informed he was caught on video. Williams has agreed not to seek or hold judicial office. So let me get this straight. A judge who sentences people to jail for doing crimes, committed one, still gets to be on the bench until he retires and collect all of his retirement and everything else that goes with it. And he only admitted guilt when they told him they caught him on video.
Well, yeah. The hell's wrong with you? That's the way things work. No, but seriously, he's the judge. The guy's been listening to all these cases. He probably just had temporary insanity and
that's
said,
what he says.
You know what? I want to try being a criminal for a change.
Was he like on the other side?
Yeah, and he gave him back, so what's the big deal?
Side.
Leave him alone.
That's right, yeah.
Go worry about the asteroids.
Next one is guy fled accident with a fire hydrant.
No.
That is true. New Jersey authorities say a driver fled the scene of an accident with a fire hydrant stuck to his car. And then tossed it in the trash.
Why didn't he recycle it?
Parsippany.
It's a very heavy object right there.
Yes. Parsippany police say the motorist drove off after his car struck the hydrant and a mailbox Tuesday. Police followed a trail of water from the scene to a township home where they found the car and the hydrant. The driver was found in a nearby diner.
Oh, my God.
Police say 27-year-old township resident Domingo Moriano has been charged with criminal mischief, hindering apprehension, and tampering with evidence, and was turned over to federal immigration officials. Yo quiero Taco Bell. It wasn't known Saturday if he's retained an attorney. Police are still investigating the cause and other details of the crash. So this brilliant person decided he's going to hit a fire hydrant, leave a trail of water, and then instead of like leaving the car somewhere else, he takes it to his house, puts it in his driveway, and goes has some apple pie at a diner?
Domingo. Thank you for listening, and this song goes out to you.
1, 2, 3. He's a loser. Ain't no mind what he says. He's a loser. He's got rocks in both his head.
Okay, you're not doing so well today. How about you in the audience? How you guys doing? Here's the final one. Diner pulls down his pants in an outburst over onions.
The diner pulls down his pants?
The headline says, Diner pulls down his pants in an outburst over onions.
That's true.
That is true. A Michigan man apparently upset because his food included onions is jailed on charges. He made threats to shoot the owner at a Pittsburgh restaurant before exposing himself. Police say 43-year-old Ayuba Sharma ate all Indiana restaurant on Monday night and then returned Tuesday to rant and complain about the onions. The owner tells police Sharma threatened to shoot him, so he called the police. That's when Sharma, confronted by the restaurant owner and another employee, pulled down his pants and exposed himself. Police say, adding the Rochester man resisted arrest and had to be lifted and carried to the police cruiser with his pants around his ankles. He remained in the Allegheny County Jail on Thursday on charges of terroristic threats, indecent exposure, and resisting arrest.
So this guy was from Rochester, New York, and was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
No, a Michigan man, apparently upset, blah, 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 was at a Pittsburgh restaurant, blah, 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 blah. Where do you get...
I don't know. I just
police say adding the Rochester man.
My point is...
It must be Rochester, Michigan.
He lived in Michigan. He was over in Pennsylvania having...
Yeah.
That don't make any sense.
Maybe he's a truck driver.
Well, why don't you find out and give me the answers that I'm seeking here?
You know, I don't do a background check on every single thing.
The thing is, all I was going to say was if he was from Pittsburgh, you can understand the frustration going on in that city. How many times have the Patriots taken out the Steelers lately? Well, that's enough to make anybody expose themselves.
I just don't get why whipping out your onion got to do with it. I don't get it.
Some people are very proud of their onions.
I guess. I don't know. Oh, so I forgot to tell you.
Maybe he wanted to play onion ring toss.
Onion ring toss? I forgot to tell you the True or False headline is being powered by the Ludlow Lions Club. Do you want to help those in need in your neighborhood? Volunteer to help today by visiting ludlowlions.org or by calling 754-900-ROAR.
Let's play Hollywood Soundbite Theater.
It's another hot day in Massachusetts and New England, so I'm sure it's a scorcher down there in Central Florida. And let's be honest, that pool of yours could use a little TLC. Let No Worries For You professional pool service handle all your pool needs. Serving Orange, Osceola, and Polk counties, clear your mind by clearing your pool. Give them a call today at 407-953-7926 and tell them you heard it here on the Fountain of Thought podcast.
So Dennis is going to spin first this week for his subject for next week.
All right. And no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop on horror thriller.
You're done. Okay, here goes my spin here.
Ooh, good spin.
Yeah, I can't see that.
It is Wild Card.
Oh, now I might have a problem.
Yep, now you got a problem.
All right, so last week we spun the wheel, and I got jokes, I believe, is going to be my subject.
That is correct.
And yours is, once again, Star Trek Pictures. Oh, this is going to be so great.
Yeah.
Should I just whip out my onion and take a picture of it for the site later? I'm going to let you pick 1 through 10.
1.
You're going to go at 1.
Yeah?
Prick.
Really, Dr. McCoy, you must learn to govern your passions. They will be your undoing.
That would be Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
And that would be a big resounding...
All right. Here is your first joke.
What happened to you?
They probably cheated.
Your mother cheated. That's why you look like a plumber.
It was cut off at the end. You can't even hear what she's saying.
It was a boy, but yeah.
Play it again.
What happened here?
They probably cheated.
Your mother cheated. That's why you look like a plumber.
Like a what?
Plumber. I hear that fine as day. Plumber.
That wasn't a joke.
Your mother cheated. That's why she looks like a plumber.
That's not a joke.
That's a joke.
That's not a joke.
That's a joke.
All right. I'm just going to go for the clue.
Go for the clue. It starred Harrison Ford, and it's a sci-fi movie.
Sci-fi movie with Harrison Ford. And the only things coming to mind is Star Wars and Blade Runner. And I know it's not either one of those. And I can't remember him doing any other sci-fi films. I'm going to kick myself right in the big anus when you tell me this answer. I'm just going to go with Blade Runner. Yeah,
I know what you're going to say. You've never watched it, but Ender's Game.
No, I never watched
it.
See?
That's not my problem.
It's my problem. See? You cheat.
How is that cheating?
Because you know what I watch. I tell you all week. We discuss stuff, and you write these little notes down in yourself saying, "Oh, he didn't watch that movie.
He didn't watch that one. I'm going to get one for that one."
You probably have a book and a diary of everything I haven't watched. You suck.
Next one, please. Number 2.
Oh, my.
Oh, come on.
Oh, come on.
One more time.
Oh, my.
Oh, that's that would also be Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. That is Kirk when they're dying in the antimatter chamber. Really? Oh, it sounded like that.
Well, you were correct on the dying part, but it was Generations.
Oh, it's going to be Yes, I knew he was dying. I knew it. Yeah, Generations.
I gotcha.
Okay.
I gotcha.
That was really low, by the way. That was really, really low. Okay. Here is your next one.
Yo mama's so ghetto, when she breastfeeds, Kool-Aid comes out.
One more time.
Yo mama's so ghetto, when she breastfeeds, Kool-Aid comes out.
I'm going to go with my clue.
You already used your clue.
I thought I'd try it anyway. Oh, shit.
You want to just pass, or?
I want to pass.
Okay, good.
Yo mama's so stupid, she thought Tupac Shakur was a Jewish holiday.
This is what I mean by rule number 3. Dennis, stop cheating.
That is not cheating.
Giving me the clip from the same motion picture. You suck. You suck royally.
Oh, and how's it any different than? Oh my.
Blue Streak.
Meet the Spartans.
Meet the Spartans.
Yeah, it was that.
Oh, jeez.
You know what it was?
Yeah, I know what it was. That stupid parody shit. You know why? Because I told you the only things I ever liked were Airplane and scary movies. So you went and looked up everything I don't like or haven't seen.
No, you said you like those kind of movies.
No,
so I
said
seen
I only liked Airplane. And not Naked Gun. Oh, that was okay, but OJ ruined it.
Next, please.
James T. Kirk, captain of the Enterprise.
That is also Star Trek Generations. Play that again.
James T. Kirk, captain of the Enterprise.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I know I'm right. I'm the one that downloaded it.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, you are so...
Shut up.
You're such a loser.
Shut up. Here's your last one. You can lose anyways, because I got one. And there you go, Gary. You ready?
It's the same movie?
What are 3 things that a black man can't get?
What is that?
A black eye, a fat lip, and a job.
I told you I'm gonna kick this boy.
No. One more time.
Okay, what are 3 things that a black man can't get?
What is that?
A black eye, a fat lip, and a job.
I told you I'm gonna kick this boy.
I'm going to pass.
You have no more passes?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
I write the rules for this show.
You have no more passes.
Starting now, I have 3 passes. You get none.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you're a cheater.
Yes.
Half-baked.
Close, though. Guess who?
What the fuck is Guess Who?
It's the comedy with Ashton Kutcher. Guess who?
I hate him.
I don't care. Why do you keep
that's
telling
why
me
you
these
know
things?
that. You know I hate him, so you sit there. You cheat.
So
That's what you do.
that is another X for you. You lose. I win.
It's time to dig deep. That only means one thing. It's time for questions from my side.
Which is being powered by Mr. Bill's Boot and Shoe Repair in Pantego, Texas. Find them online at MrBills.net, where they'll save your soul and gladly die for you. All right, so how this works is you, the audience, send in your questions. It can be anything and everything, just like our show. We will randomly pull 3 questions out each week and read them on the air and answer the question. So the first question is, if you were a high school teacher, what subject would you teach? Although I really loved algebra, it was my favorite subject in high school. Now, I think I would teach history. I'd like to be a history teacher.
What subject? That's very interesting. I think I would probably go with U.S. history.
Oh, history teacher as well, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you mean as well?
I said I wanted to be a history teacher.
You said you wanted to do algebra.
No, I said although I was very good at algebra and it was my favorite subject in high school, now I'd probably want to be a history teacher.
Well, history and U.S. history are 2 different things.
No, world history and U.S. history are 2 different things.
Well,
history is history.
Well, then which one is it? I was specific. Not Atlantic, but Pacific.
Pacific? I would probably go with U.S. history over world history, but
of course, because I had the best idea.
Yeah, no, I was there first. You weren't. Okay, the next one says, if you could be any movie villain, who would you be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me think about that. I suppose you have the definitive answer.
I do not have the definitive answer.
But see, again, when they write these questions, they don't specify. For what reason do I want to be this villain?
I don't know. Want me to tell you mine?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, it's a no-brainer. I would be Khan Noonien Singh.
I will chase you to the ends of...
Have you ever heard the Klingon proverb, revenge is a dish served cold? Yes. Because he was good in both incarnations. It doesn't matter which one. If you go with Ricardo Montalban, his big chest.
His big plastic chest.
No, it was not plastic. That was real.
No way.
Yes, I swear to God, yes.
You're full of shit.
No, it's been proven over and over again. That was
there was
not.
No way that man had that bust
yes,
on. No
that's
way.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
No.
Prove me wrong.
No.
Prove me wrong. Who are you going to be? What villain are you going to be? Come on, let's go.
I'm going to be that dude there from this last 6 season from Walking Dead and bash your head.
Oh. Okay.
Not really. No, you're
Negan?
You're my best friend.
Negan?
I wouldn't.
You want to be Negan?
Yeah. I kick you in the balls, but that's about it.
All right, here is the last one.
It was a dumb question, by the way.
I thought that was a good. You said it was a good question to begin with. That was dumb?
Yeah, because I didn't get the right answer.
Sum up your podcast in one word. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Wow. That was deep.
Wasn't it?
That was really deep.
It was.
Fun.
All right.
Sonny's Pet Peeve
of the Week.
Yes, sir. It's that time for me to start complaining and bitching and crying and pissing and moaning and all that other good stuff. There was a tragic accident that happened yesterday here in Ware. And I never saw such a spectacle of people running down there with cameras and gawking and standing around all talking. This went on from 9 a.m. almost until 5 o'clock at night. They were standing there taking pictures. Just why do people have to stand around and gawk, especially when it's a fatality? I don't get that. I'm sorry. If it's a tornado or something of that nature, fine. But when it involves something like that, why don't they just tell the crowd to dismiss?
Well, I'm not. Well,
disperse.
They have a right to be there.
I know they have a right to be, but how rude is it?
Well, I would be there. I would watch.
Well, this reminds me of this guy I know that used to run around with a fake plates on his car, WMRX FM, and he applied for a press pass, and he would just show up at every different given thing so he could sit there and gawk. I mean, what an asshole.
I know, huh? He's probably delusions of grandeur. Next, you know, he's going to get a plate that says he's a god.
You know this guy?
No, never heard of him.
Is he from Texas?
Possibly. I would, well, now he used to be somewhere else, but yeah.
Yeah, he was London, wasn't it?
Yeah, London. Yeah.
Right.
I would look. I wouldn't stand there for hours, but I would probably look, you know, because I'm a looky-loo. I would do it. I would not take any pictures.
These people
that would be gruesome,
they were holding up cameras.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And taking shot after shot
Yeah,
and
I know.
then texting people. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, people.
They want to be first. Well, some of them want to be first on the scene just because. Other people want to submit it to news so they can be famous for their 3 seconds. There was something that happened in my town where a kid slipped in a water park, and they took pictures of it and everything and sent it in Channel 40 or 22 or one of the networks came down and did a big thing on them. And, you know, it's all what you can do for your, 3 seconds of fame.
The point is.
So that's what it is. But I
do you agree or do not agree?
Well,
Curiosity.
In excessive.
Curiosity.
If they're excessive about it, yes. In photos, no.
You hear a noise, you go up, you're curious, you want to see what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. You go up, you realize it's an accident.
Yeah.
All right, walk away.
Yeah.
Let the professionals do their job. Don't stand there and, come on, people, go get jobs.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's looky-loo for a little bit, but, all the rubberneckers on the highway when they see something, I do that. I look, but I don't stop my car and go, But it's everyone wants their 3 seconds of fame. That's what I
suppose.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Fountain of Thought segment, where your all-omnipotent host, Dennis Fountain, ponders life events.
I understand you have some pondering for me to do.
You like to ponder, don't you?
I like to pontificate.
Pontificate?
Yes.
That sounds sexual.
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm a pontificating ponderer.
3 questions. 3 questions only because I wrote this segment.
Oh, okay.
How do you tell whether our opinions are objective or subjective?
All depends upon the person's personal history.
How about you?
All depends upon my personal history.
Yeah, okay, but how about you? Are you subjective or objective?
All depends about my personal history. If the topic comes up and if I relate to it in some manner where it's affected me, then I am not objective. I am subjective.
It says questions for the all-knowing, omnipotent one.
Yes.
So you're going to have an answer.
That is my answer.
Aren't you always right?
Yes, and that is my answer, which is correct.
Are there thoughts that cannot be expressed in any language?
My answer is no. Although words may not express your thoughts, certainly deeds, actions could. And that is also considered a language. So that's my answer.
That was an excellent answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't like complimenting you.
Thank
you know that.
Thank you.
Okay, last one. Can someone be sane and insane at the same time?
Absolutely.
Now explain that one.
Well, just look at you.
Oh, you.
Is that it? We're moving on?
I'm going to wring his neck.
Any final thoughts?
Okay, my final thought is this. Have you noticed this new craze where they take vegetables and they shred them up like spaghetti?
You mean like spaghetti squash to make it look like spaghetti?
Yeah, it looks like, they'll take squash or beets or any type of thing, but they shred it up and it's in these big strands.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a big fad now, and they even got a machine on TV that do an infomercial on CBS between 12 and 12:30 so you can do it at home.
Okay.
Okay. I got a problem with that. You can't take a food like spaghetti and disguise it as a vegetable and say, oh, this is going to be satisfactory.
Some people would argue immensely with that.
Probably, but I got summer squash. I love summer squash. Mm-hmm. But when I cooked it up and put it in a bowl and it's looking like spaghetti and put butter all over it, immediately my brain is expecting the taste of pasta and butter. Instead, I got a mouthful of gushed up squash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you like a food, eat it in its original form. Stop fucking with it.
It doesn't matter how you want to cut it, but spaghetti squash will do that. Spaghetti squash, of all of them, does mimic pasta the best. And you could...
Yeah, but spaghetti squash, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the ones they shred.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, I just, like shredded beets. There's only two ways to prepare beets.
There's only one way, pickled.
Yeah, pickled, or some people prefer them hot with butter.
No,
pickled. Okay, I agree. I'm a pickled guy too. But, it doesn't matter. I don't need it shaped like spaghetti to eat it. It's just
to make life more interesting for you.
It's not interesting. It's annoying.
It's annoying?
Sorry. It's annoying.
All right. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of The Fountain of Thoughts. Yeah, that about sums it up. Please leave your opinion, your thoughts, whatever you like on our voicemail. The number's 413-612-8037. And reminding everyone to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fountain of Thought. Follow us on Twitter at TalkFOT. And don't forget to visit our website at fountainofthought.com for all episodes and for polls, folks. Don't forget to go take our polls on our website, fountainofthought.com. And remember, everyone, be a fountain, not a drain.
Fight me.
Stupid. A person below normal intelligence.
Beavis. What? Beavis. What? Those guys better look out for the Klingons near Uranus.
I think you fuck.
Marshall.